Hi everyone, Coyote here. Is the 28th. It's Tuesday, and Eastern Standard Time is almost 9:50. It's going to play a little bit of background music, kind of light, so maybe that will be a little nice. Um, so tonight is about our timelines, timeline manipulation, portals. Are you noticing anything different in your day? Is something speeded up? Are you feeling like neighborhoods look differently, which I've heard from someone, and yet you want to go back to where you started from because you don't want to get lost on a different timeline? Perhaps you've been driving, and what seemed that would take a long time, even going the speed you normally might go, all of a sudden you're at your exit, and yet it felt like nothing to get to this further exit, for example. In driving, you get somewhere quicker, it's different. Have you noticed skies? Have you seen portals in the skies? Have you seen like energy, shots of energy or squiggles? Have you noticed it even when you walk? There's maybe a rip in time or something is sort of following you, and yet you thought something was there, but it's not there, and it's happening more and more. So I have it from a mentor of mine that the timelines are being manipulated, and through another friend who's experiencing this kind of experience on her own. She just feels it. And with me, I'm getting a lot of other remote vision of places, and dreams don't feel like dreams. They feel like they're almost a remote view as well. They're a little bit different. One looks like film, and one looks like a movie that I'm in, and it feels even more um, rounded out. Maybe you're experiencing some kind of, phenomenon like that. Also, what else? The skies here. I haven't noticed something being more like I have another friend that said their skies several miles from me. They noticed them being more different colors, like unusually so. Purple, blue, back to purple, oranges, things like that. I've just been noticing that our clouds here in Massachusetts and where I'm at, the clouds are different. Sometimes they're so close, they feel like huge clouds, so close. Or the blue of the sky is so blue, like, that archangel, that, epitome of Mother Mary blue. And also for me, I'm having experiences with animals. I'm having experiences where the birds are flying so low. Even the birds of the air, the larger raptors, the hawks, they're not flying like super high in the sky and they're super far away. It's almost like they're flying so close, they're flying lower than you would fly your high kite to catch the winds. So birds are flying low, they're staying on the ground. Notice a lot more smaller animals are run over there in plenty. Squirrels, ducks, cats, raccoons, lots and lots. And it's true, I do drive a bit for income via Lyft. So I'm driving a lot and I'm just noticing. I'm also noticing in my area of Massachusetts, the drivers are known as mass holes because they don't give you warning and they just zoom in, zoom out, go in front of you, cut you. You might have to stop at any time. And also, Boston, for example, is a very hard city in terms of driving to navigate. A lot of things that you have to make a decision in turns and such last minute. You don't know and your GPS drops. It's a very interesting way to learn how to drive and learn to know a city. So that has helped me. That a lot of times I've lately been there, the traffic has not been as thick as it could be. I've been protected in every way with my vehicle. I can give you a little insight as to what I do with that. Um, but I wanted to address how, you know, what the cards might show in terms of our attitude, our posture, our way of looking at things, and in holding ourselves in balance and in integrity, honor, our state of mastery as we unfold and get into knowing of us as masters, mistresses of the universe, gods, goddesses of the earth. So I have no idea what this means. I did ask for the like a highest octave of integrity from angels to help me through this reading, and I also asked for the highest information of integrity that would help with this timeline thing, like what would be the theme of this, how to look at timelines and portals, which I was sent a picture of a portal recently, and I believe, forgive me if I'm incorrect, if it's over Oklahoma or in a place in Oklahoma, but it definitely was a portal of transmutation and drawing energies into the Christed light or the Christed arena or the golden portal for transmutation. Gosh, yeah. So there's a lot that way going on. So if you feel extra tired or sick or anxious, if your triggers are coming up, if you want to be yelling at people and you start out your day great, or you didn't start out your great day, but you just want to be happy. A lot of our own shadows are being asked to come to the surface via those who seem to trigger or be in front of us or do things we don't like, so that you can actually navigate your path to become more of that centered Obi-Wan, that goddess of the universe. Because when you're truly in your mastery, me too, and you're truly in the mastery, and someone does something, you do not allow them to play on your stage. You do not allow them to pay rent in your environment, in your energy. In fact, you can see them as really nothing. You hurt them, but it does not affect your field, because your field is so focused on the life you wish to create, on that which is next for you. Your fun, your validation, the visualization, the feeling into the in transurfing. It's like, what do they call it? It's not just feeling as if you are there already. You are there already. The allowance is there, and you are acting from that place. You are manifesting from the place that you already say you want to have in your life. You are acting from that place. You're not acting as if, you're not attracting any more. You are breathed, and you're breathed into that spot, that which you desire. You are acting from that feeling, that spot it already is, and you are manifesting then from that knowingness of that. So say, in my case, I want $40 million. I'm now manifesting from a place of $40 million. I'm manifesting, feeling good, and feeling the richness of life from that 40 million. Now, when I can't, or if I'm not feeling that that's what I'm able to do, what I will do is think about the things that I'm in action with that feel good about having, distributing, sharing, keeping, spending, resting with 40 million and all the adventures around that. Let's get to what the card has for a theme for our subject tonight of timeline portals, how we can stay in balance, and how we can also be in heart. What is the guidance? What is the action of these iconic cards that are going to come up? I will just suggest, there's two things I wanted to also share with you. You may be called upon this time to get a particular crystal, and maybe you're a collector of crystals anyway. So out of your collection, you may be guided to wear and or carry certain crystals with you. And on some days, or mostly, one more than others, excuse me, I have a lot of black tourmaline around me. I have selenite and quartz, different quartz. I have different other small spiritual stones around me that I carry. But I was very much guided very strongly to get some rose quartz and to wear it. So I'm in the process of finding a rose quartz and other, rings and earrings and stuff, really needing rose quartz around me. And rose quartz is not just for relationships, attracting love, understanding others with compassion, seeing all others with a loving grace. It is for you to fall in love with yourself very deeply, to love yourself in your next steps and what is right now. The whole point, of course, all this other stuff that's going on in the universe and in many, many countries and on TVs, you're watching The Truman Show. You're watching episodes. You're watching dramas that are not real. There are some themes being presented to you so that you can review and you can decide and you can act appropriately when it's time. But they're not for you to get into the drama of things and into the complaint of things, into the pointing finger of things. It's really for you to be in discernment and to create space of love, care, virtue, nobility, wealth, abundance, possibility from that feeling of already is. You are this thing you wish to show in the world. That's how powerful we are. We weren't really taught that. We don't really talk about that on a regular basis. Usually and many light workers, they are falling back on their fame, some of their ego. They're falling back on pointing fingers. Even some of the best ones that you might care about, they're showing memes. The good side is making fun of the bad side. This is all programming and old behavior. I know it's very easy to say someone made me sick or someone didn't give me the money. I know it's very easy to say they want you to get a vaccine. It's in you're very justified. It does not help you in your mastery to keep telling that story and play the victim. Doesn't matter. And you can be mad at me. That's okay because you have that prerogative. You are so sovereign. You get to choose. Why not choose a higher timeline? Why not take all those characters or dreams or iconic figures you may have admired, take the best of them and be that. And also, when you can't, bring them in as a guide. Whether it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, whether it's a Kuan Yin, whether it's the Jesus Christ figure, whether it's some Superman or anybody from a character from a book that you can embellish and feel those qualities of virtue and nobility and acting from a place of such grand vision. But that's you. Why not? You are the spark of creation. You are powered by the stars. You have all the power within. The kingdom is within. Greater things than I. What will you do? If you catch on and just wise up and be open to all the possibility of this planet and all the dimensions and all the universes together that you are part of. We have a great, great, rich history that we have just thought is a movie. It's someone's imagination, both horrible and amazingly brilliant. And we're going to own into that which we were asleep about and rejoice in our awakening to our powers. Let's get going. So this was the Ace of Water. It's come from the Good Tarot. And I like this because it's a very positive tarot deck. I picked this, or it picked me as the theme tonight of this overview and understanding portals, timelines, and how to be in balance, and then seeing how all these iconic cards come together for guidance and action, and how we best move in that action and in that guidance. So let's see. I'm still going to pick a few oracle cards, and I will do numbers on this as well. So an ace is number one, and what I know about number one is it's straight as an arrow, knowing thyself. It's you standing tall in your knowledge. So let's go see the Ace of Water. All right. Unconditional love, overflowing abundance, the fertility of love. Didn't I just mention about I'm using rose quartz. I invite you to perhaps consider the rose quartz. I know there are some intuitives, or maybe one. You might know that you're not gravitating to it. But what at this time, with all the jazz that's going on in the world, stuff we know, stuff we don't know, all this information bombarded with us. If it's if you don't listen to TV, good for you. If you watch movies and you're saying, I don't consent, but I really like that actor and I want to see that story. I just want to, put aside a part of me and suspend myself in a storyline. Just do not consent and watch. But perhaps that rose quartz is exactly what will be just right for you at this time to keep in your car, around your bedroom. Just carry a huge chunk with you. Wear some in some way to remind you of the love, the vibration, the entity that you come from. So, what this out of this particular guidance of this book is unconditional love, overflowing abundance, the fertility of love. I am filled with love from spirit and joyously let it flow to others, where it fertilizes the seeds of co-creation. Love gives me hope, shining brilliance, shining brilliant light on all possibilities available to me. I am optimistic about bringing dreams into being. Spirit always informs me, guides me, allowing me to illuminate the darkest of places. So, as love, we can do that. I'm going to give you an example before I pull some oracle cards. Um, in my radiance and radiation and practice of the day, I will often walk on grass barefoot, or when you can't, you can be in your shoes, be in your bedroom, a comfortable place, wherever that is. And from the deepest sacred place of the belly of Pachit Mama, drawing up a white plasma light. You can think of it as a tube or a strand, um, whether it's like a cylinder that's this type and flowing through your body, or maybe it's wider, whatever you want to visualize, use it, that's your power. Have that white light, the deepest depths of Pachulama, in your sacred place of wisdom, wrath, nurturing, in her sacred places and halls where she has cared for all, where she has waited for her turn to grow, to be recognized, to be cared for by all beings and all sentient beings. This light comes up. I visualize it. It's almost like a selenite kind of a white plasma up through my body, through cells, through organs, through all tissue, through all membrane, through all vein, through all part of bone that I am inhabiting, and up through my body, up through the crown of my head, radiating through every single bit, within, through, and without, in my fields, my sub, my auric, and my hyperauric fields, up into the ethers of the great infinite mind, into the depths of infinitesimal space, into the depths of foreverness. Then that plasma light goes up. So one inside this planet, one strand zooming up into outer and far dimensional space. And as it turns to come back into my body, in that turn, I see plasma white light and sparks of shards of color like zooming all around to transmute, to turn shadow and evil into love, nothing, evaporation, and take anything that is unlike love to the golden portal where it cannot harm no one, nothing, not even itself, and not return. And as those shards go out everywhere into infinitesimal foreverness, so at that turn, it comes back into my body, plummeting back into my body, filling my body with radiant light, back into the depths of Pachamama, where at the turn where they now merge, that plasma thread of light, from that bottom pit of Pachamama, shards go out, colored light, bits of color rainbow light go out, in quite illumination that also radiates and exposes the shadow and it exposes the evil. So that too is collected to go to the golden portal where it can not return, harming no one, nothing, not even itself. And for me, that radiance just exponentially expels everywhere while I call on Christ light to my heart. to your heart with rose gold flame, violet flame, and now a little bit of the rose quartz color to just permeate and remind all of love, so powerful, not penetrable, impenetrable really, and protected. So that's a little bit of what I do. And it takes just a moment really. And once you start feeling good about it, you just have to think it for a second. You feel like, yeah, this is good. And some moments you spend a little bit more, as you wish to call in your own words, because this is your visualization and your master. So this ace is, let's see what she'll also give us for the ace. Okay. Let me just see if it's listed here. Kings, queens, messengers, pages. Maybe it doesn't quite. Ace. Ace is the driving, primal, originating force of the element think. Everything I desire starts with me. So, in these timelines and portals that are opening, and also some timelines that are trying to be manipulated by darker entities, just know that when you radiate and you percolate and you're thinking love, the grandest force of all dimensions, timelines, multiverses, universes, galaxies, love, the highest impenetrable solid vibration. If you truly radiate that and knowing, no evil can befall you. You aren't a victim. You don't get to say, oh, that person did this to me, oh, that person, whatever. And even when your apparatus gets sick, breathe and know that something's off for you to take a rest, to rejuvenate, to recalibrate, to recalculate. And try not to be in despair, because you are so powerful. You get to choose bondage or you get to choose freedom. It's not about anybody doing something to you. It's our soul path. It's our alignment to our good, to our virtue. I mean, do you want to be a wumpy master, a toilet water master? Do you want to really hold that Excalibur sword and be proud? Do you like who you are? This is a chance loving ourselves more through all this wonkiness that's going on. And I get it. It's not easy. I understand. I know what it's like to have to choose timelines and feel under the weather, like, choose and see demise or health, even though health would mean going through parts I didn't like, or choosing to live off savings, or speaking up in the face of being the only one, or losing it or not losing it and telling people off. People who've been dear friends, because yes, we're different and looked at things differently, and that's okay. But did you really think and care and understand your soul? Your soul, which is the breath of life. You breathe, but it's the soul in the body that makes you divine, foreverness, ever never ending, which makes you eternal. This can last 1,000 years, or more. But our soul never, ever ends. And like they might say in a movie, death is only the beginning, because it's another stage. It's another stage where we get zapped out of the body and just loving, like, wow, an adventure. So the mirror that's held up of evil, you get to decide where you're at with it. If you have no time for it, evil can't stick around. Whenever you are evil, it's getting something from you. So what if you notice and can catch your triggers early and laugh about them and love them because that sends love to the evil or the shadow as well. And in us all, if we had had these times down extremely correctly, we would not be going what we're going through. So there is not any famous woo-woo out there ever in these past 2.5, 3 years who knew so much, because we would have been at least warned earlier. And the way we were warned were by many of the different conspiracy experts. Whatever side they played, they were giving you information, just like every show, every movie, every talk show, every sports game is giving us something. We just let it slip. So now, in these timeline manipulations, in these portals opening, in these energies that we're feeling, claim your love. Be in guidance with the invisibles. Be love. Be the number one. I love reading from my list of numbers. And I'll just cut. This is the last time I'll put the ace aside in a moment. So straight like an arrow, strong and assertive, individual self-discovery. Know thyself, the power within, a great new start, new beginnings. Let go of old energies. Perhaps you've been choosing some negative old energies, old patterns, old ways of thinking to be right, to be the victim. You're struggling with something. Take a breath. It's okay. Now you noticed. So be that straight like an arrow. Dive into your individual self, your self-discovery. And as is over the Oracle of Delphi, know thyself. Know thyself. Okay. So we are going to put the little ace guy aside for a while, for a moment. And you know, it's so interesting. I have incense burning, but it's in the sort of a funky place where I was hoping to create a little ambiance. Might come over now, I'm not sure. Not really. Thought it might. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and let's see if we can pick a couple of oracle cards that will lead to complement the theme. Maybe it was just about love, right? It's very interesting, and it was interesting that I'm guided for the rose quartz. So let me know if you are too. I heard one very famous and very busy intuitive say that that's not her stone of love. It's not what she gravitates to. Interesting, right? I mean, well, that's okay. That's something that doesn't seem to resonate with her, but it's interesting that the rose quartz is thought of one of the main stones of love and care and compassion. So I'm commanding in the highest octave of the magnificent archangels, commanding in the highest octave of my dear ascended master friends, my elementals, and my elementals, for highest destiny. Help the oracles come forward. That'll help us in action and guidance for being with the changes of timelines, timeline manipulations, and portal openings, portal transmutations. Yeah, I can feel it. Just the last one will come. Okay. So I will have 4. Mm. Okay. Now, given that I probably don't want to be a couple of hours because I spent about 30 minutes on sort of giving you some ideas and coaching about, crystal and timeline in terms of love and kind of a exercise to use. I'm just going to see if I can push this just away just a second. Okay. So I have 4 cards, and this is going to be interesting for me just because I haven't looked at my cards successfully the way in succession as often lately as I would like to, but I'm going to let this come through as authentically as I can muster it at this moment. So the first card, go forward and leave the past behind. And what I was just mentioning was about that, right? That we're leaving behind. We're in every system, in every country on this planet, we are leaving behind, whether you realize it or not, we are leaving behind the systems that we've come to know as normal. We're leaving behind the systems that how we used to do things, how we used to vote, how we used to have gone to school, how we may be dealing with money, how we may do anything. For us to be in this age of Aquarius takes a whole new template, none experienced before, except maybe Lemurian times, and channel information from our highest, our Lyrans, our Andromedians, Palladians, Arcturians, Sirians, from our highest ancestors, from our highest cousins, our helpers. So go forward and leave the past behind. And I believe this is Magdalene de la Mer. So Mary Magdalene, I want to say this is Mary Magdalene, Jesus Christ's wife. But she's in a new land. She's in a new place. We have the flamencos there, or the water geese, whichever they are, but they are intertwining to show DNA. Our DNA is changing. So if you are experiencing what people say, oh, you have COVID, you have some variation, you have some crap, your DNA is changing, your whole body system is changing. You may not like the foods that you normally like. Foods won't taste the same. You may not want to be as hungry. You're not eating so much because the planet is changing. So the planet resonance is changing, and you are changing. You are changing. And even if you don't know it, it's very subtle. Sometimes it's in your skin because your DNA is catching up and pushing everything out. So you may notice that you have rashes or more eczema. Maybe there are more lines because your whole skin, your whole body is super changing, right? I'm still eating, but I'm not as hungry as I normally am, and probably I wouldn't eat it all. Maybe I don't have all the drinks I want around me. Maybe I need a little bit more water. I'm not sure. I'm just letting it be and kind of figuring out as I go. But I would say, I don't eat a whole lot, and I'm not drawn to eat a whole lot. And maybe you're that way too. Like things, I guess, tasting the same, or maybe you are eating, but you feel like, gee, I'm fuller sooner. Your body, only what's going. Something's changing. You're shifting. You're going forward and leaving the past behind. You're wanting to have more integral leaders more than ever. You're wanting school systems to be super caring and not with hidden agenda about making boys into girls and girls into boys. You're super caring that yes, our body, our choice, and what's underneath that. Adrenochrome, selling baby parts, brains, hearts, organs, killing children, wearing skin, drinking blood, taking DNA, using the DNA of baby parts into experimentation that enhance our taste cells. We have to really rise up. We have to talk. We have to embrace this stuff, not as sci-fi, not as a scary thing, not as a scary thing. Stop it. That's being a victim. And that's not your power of control. Stop it. Because that's being you, excuse me, that's being you being an asshole with your head up your ass. Stop it. Because you cannot tell me, you woo-woos out there, you cannot tell me, any of you, no, you're an asshole yourself if you say, but they did it to me. Oh, I'm so scared. Stop it. You haven't heard a word I said about being in your power. You haven't heard a word I said about noticing the timelines and the manipulation, Angel, the portals opening, or the birds of nature. So take a breath. Take a breath. Chill for a second. Chill for a second. Because sometimes don't shoot the messenger. Hear the message. Because you're more powerful, then you know it's not a fucking ego thing. It's a divine thing. And if you're claiming your divinity, and you say you got power, then excuse me. You may look like a popular. You may look like a fatso. You may be a skinny. Whatever it is that you are, claim your power. Take a breath. Claim your power. Moving forward, you have the power to shift. We have power we don't even talk about. The power of going into a cylinder, letting the cylinder fill up with blue, aqua blue goo and water, and visualizing the body that we want to, and emerging with beauty and ageless and flexibility and rejuvenation because of that visualization. You have visualization to attract. You know about the law of attraction, yes? You've heard of it. Your thoughts are things. Your words are your wand. Power, grace, nobility, manifestation in your energy. Claim it. Do not blame, bless. Do not blame, bless. And grab your power. So go forward and leave the past behind. This is number 12, number 3. So mind, body, and spirit, things happening in threes. If already you're bugged by a 2, something entering your mind, it's going to happen the third time and maybe more until you say, okay, I'm just going to do it. And here's the thing. Sometimes when you are getting your intuitive nudges, those angels don't deliver sometimes. It's because you're just supposed to follow what they say and be at peace and surrender. I know sometimes I'm challenged like that too, and I'll say to them, you haven't given me what you told me. Well, this is happening because we want you to hear us and just do it, even if it's not going to happen. Because that way, when you do follow us and things are happening, you have actually participated by listening to us. You say you want to talk to us, you say you want the answers, here they are. And I too sometimes say, well, I ain't listening anymore because you didn't follow through. So I make my own choice as well. But your angels, your guides, these masters want to hear from you. So go forward and leave the past behind. If something is nudging you, it's happening in twos, then pay attention to that. Go to the third time and explore. And you will find by doing that, you've honored yourself and made clear what you needed to do or know. And either it is working out, or you can say, I have more information, because you've honored that nudge, right? So let's see, where do I write these things? Okay. So things happening in threes. Go after your dreams, follow your heart. Live life to the fullest. Connect to your high self, your high guide, your highest wisdom. Listen to you, right? It's motivation, movement, the flow of energies, magic in motion, emotions of things, awareness. Let go, get rid of, change and choose. Don't blame, bless. All right, so remember the 3. Think outside the flock. Number 29 to 11. So that is a 2, right? Vibration of 2, balance. The guides are talking about balance. The guides are talking about not staying in the old stuff. Yes, take action, move forward, especially when you feel absolutely compelled to move forward. Ask for guidance about how to move forward, but move forward, be in the surrender of moving forward. So they're teaching us and talking to us about moving forward. It's time. It's the age of Aquarius. Okay? So think outside the flock. So as we're becoming masters, we're not going to be popular with people, especially now. We're not going to be popular. You're not going to be popular by standing in your straightness, your one, your ace. You're not going to be popular because people are going to want you to think like them and agree. Even us who say we know more, we would love everyone to think like us more and be more open. But I pray for and affirm that all will have their epiphany. And those that do not are meant to leave, are meant to croak off, are meant to go off the planet. They're meant to show others the example, even unto the end that they're hanging on to old ways. And that's okay because everyone has a soul path. And it's for us not to have despair over who's perishing. It's for us to celebrate life to its fullest and to honor and to have reverence and respect for all of life, from your ant and your gnat and your mosquito and your tick and your snakes and your spiders, all the way to elephants and cats and dogs and all sorts of animals. Respect and respect for you. Respect for you. Do you have respect for you? Do you speak up? Not that you want to be a bitchy all the time, right? Bitchy and right. You want to speak up and you just say your words of power. Because love is not a doormat. Love is not a doormat. Love is a power. And love is not a condition. Love is an unconditioned of total celebration and acceptance. Something that we're still coming to grips with. But it is now, the age of Aquarius. It's time we start to get on that bandwagon. So we have our ancestors helping us. This is a picture, I believe, in Glastonbury in England. It's just, now don't sheep get a bad rap. People get a bad rap, or sheep get a bad rap of being called sheeple. People, sheeple. Sheeps are supposed to follow their shepherd, be docile, be trusting, and just be. People are supposed to be wise and discerning and speak their mind and be just forward beingness, not hostile, not indifferent to the point of hate and killing, but in a place of such allowance that they're celebrating what their beliefs are in such a way that they're just doing their life, but they're not killing, they're not robbing, they're not breaking, they're not doing fires. And so this is like, watch what's happening. Racism is not real. It's a made-up definition for division. White supremacist is a made-up definition for division. Blacks are lower than is a made-up false premise for division. Black is a dominant gene. Africa is a very rich nation. Think outside the block. Ask for guidance on how to tweak and move forward in such a different way that you are an example. You are the change in the world. You are the light. You are the spark of creation. And you are powered by the stars. Be that light. It's okay. It's okay. Do not squelch your radiance for anyone. So the number 2 is the balance of the male and female. Number 2 is the everlasting infinity symbol. The number 2 resonates with peace, flexibility, diplomacy, adaptability. Expect harmony and balance. Prepare for it. Prepare for harmony and balance. Allow yourself to connect with your higher guides. And the vibration of relationships and communication. Don't you want balance in your relationships and communication? Don't you want to speak your mind? Not because you want to be evil on somebody, but you want to speak your mind and you want to hold that space. Sometimes people need to be shaken up. Sometimes they have to say, you disrespected me, and you disrespected yourself by disrespecting me. I know you didn't plant that. I know you're a nice person. You seem like a nice person. I know that that's not how your friends might think about you, and nor did you get up today to do that to me or to yourself, but you did, and I caught it, and I was late, but I'm telling you, this is us being in relationship. Being in relationship doesn't mean, oh, let's do lunch, let's catch up later. You don't say things you don't mean. You even can say, I sincerely like to get together, and I don't know when, or here's a date I'd like to consider getting XYZ done. Here are 2 dates. What will work for you? And sometimes the other person is kind of a jerk and doesn't have those dates, but they say, well, we'll work. And you might acquiesce to say, okay, I want to handle this too. Let me adjust myself. I had to do something like that where I need something done with my computer. I need some help. I gave some dates, though I'm not going to work. I was given, his time is different. So I said, you know what? Spirit will help me. I'm going to grab it. For whatever reason, he can't manage the dates that I offered. And I don't like it, but I'm going to do it to explore getting the help I need. And I'm going to allow that Spirit will help me on my next steps that I need to work or get done. And it's all going to be perfect. Sometimes you have to bend like the reeds in a wind in order for a next step to happen. It may not be your first step, but also it doesn't involve squelching my soul. If it was going to be squelching my soul, I'd say no. No way, nada, no way. But it doesn't. It just involves my idea and a narrow funnel of I wanted to work and make money, but I will work and make money after I have my appointment. I will be attracting. I will have more time to, I still could get up early and navigate my path early that way with work, or I can do something else. It's all up to me. It's okay. And it's all up to you. It's up to you. Okay. Deep memories of stirring, 38, 1911. Oh my God, another two. It would be great to look up number 22 because we're two twos together, right? So again, two about relationships, communication, flexibility, harmony, the infinity symbol, the balance, the yin yang, the male, female, the light and dark, and we need both in this magnetic and what is it? Magnetic and electromagnetic universe. So this is Author under the Thor. So this particular figure is representational, not the Christ, but of King Arthur in a time when he may have been in contemplation. So I actually want to look that one up because I don't really know. It's been a long time. But I would like to see what that one is. So 38 and 38 is 76. Let's see if I can find it easily for us. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Arthur speaks from his subterranean kingdom under glass story, Tor. What does his eyes convey to you about your question? Is it a past life issue? Okay, so let's see if we can get his eyes very well. It's a little bit challenging. What do his eyes say to you? He's surrounded in a Christ-type light. And for me, I send him the plasma light, the rose gold flame, the violet flame, a little bit of touch of rose quartz light, permeating, penetrating, radiating. His eyes, what are they saying to you? They say, stay in compassion, remember love, stay steadfast in your virtue, stay steadfast in your nobility, steadfast in faith, not warlike. As angels fight the dark, do not kill them, there is no blood. Their mighty swords of radiance transmute the dark into the golden portal, where those bots and minions are transmuted. However, infinite mind can use this energy to go back into the ethers for energy. Matter is neither created nor destroyed. All is part of the infinite mind, even the evil ones, part of the infinite connection. And the loving Father, Mother God, the loving source energy, it's not a God, the Christian Bible, like, I love my son so much, I guess I'll just watch him get crucified after all the good work he's done. I love him. That's fucked, man. That's way bad fucked. We have a lot to really say, what the heck did you teach us? You don't get to be a sinner and repent and then pray out of desperation. That's like an old paradigm, old dominance way to make you confused about your power and to keep you in your place and to make you not the divine God, goddess you were sent here to be. No, what does his eyes say? Seeing through you, going through your shadow, helping you get in touch with heart and soul. So you stand clear as a radiant being. These guides are guiding us to stay in our power of light and virtue and care and nobility, in opulence, wealth, radiance, abundance, power of goodness, intent of care for our lives and for others, and to take no shit and to give up our shit. Okay. Now this is a tricky one. Let's see. The story behind this card is this is a Knight Templar, and he was asked to guard the Grail and to create a safe space for the Grail. But he also needed to step down. And actually, this is the guy that took over. I think he didn't ask the right question. He was wounded, and it took another person to come and kind of ask the right question. So he's freed, so he can take over the Grail situation. But let's see what's in this for us. So there are fishes. So there's Pisces in this. There's two fishes, right, which usually represented the Christian symbol, but also fish are plentiful. Jesus Christ made miracles out of fish, the loaves, the fish, and fed the masses. And when they came to see him, they were hungry thousands. Remember to ask the right question. Let's see, 6. So this is number 7, which is prepare for a spiritual awakening. Number 7. I love that number 7. We've had 3, 2, 2, 7. I do want to see what 22 is. So I believe they thought the Holy Grail came down, and it was in Malachite. It was very powerful. So 16 and 16, that's 32. Let's see what we have over here. So you may recall that supposedly around the turn of the century, scientists started asking different questions in quantum science. Because in the early 1800s, they supposedly asked only so much. We've come to know that the observer affects the field. This is why you are a master, and why they, well-meaning people and the bad ones, did not want you to know your powers, didn't want you to know how much power you had. So what happened was they started asking different questions in science and realizing that the observer affects the field. So we as energy beings can affect our own experiments, which basically we can affect our own immediate environment, the environment within our bodies, and the environment without. Because they measured human emotion in an experiment, and I forget what year that was, famous type of thing. They're still doing it now anyway, but they stopped at a radius of 50 miles around the body. So the energy continued. This is how much power you have. So let me see. What is that? So it is, well, the altar that the Grail goes on is onyx, and onyx is black crystal, which is about strength and repelling evil or repelling negative energy, and more than that. Let's see, what is it? Oh, this is the Grail that they're saying it was green, and it could have been an emerald or moldavite. So moldavite is considered a space stone. I have some here somewhere. I think I have it here. Where is it? Here. maybe I don't. Where did I put it? I was sure I saw it earlier. So I have a piece of moldavite somewhere. Here it is. It's considered a space stone. It's very protective and spiritual. There's other, look it up, there's other properties to it. So it's very, very precious. It's revered and it's high priced at this time. I have a little piece right here that came from Australia, or at least I bought it for someone from Australia. So many outcomes could have ended up differently if the right question had been asked in the first place. Don't hesitate. Sometimes what happens, we have to learn to ask other questions. If we had asked other questions, 60 years ago, 10 years ago, we would know, more of us would know what was going on at this time. But we did ask. So we ended up not knowing so much, being busy in our lives, and on purpose being kept busy in our lives, lots of drama, school, and all the dollars and work and what can be involved with getting papers in, and all the schoolwork of all the logistics just to even get to a school or a college in terms of belonging and being on campus as a student. So much involved in that. If you're applying for a job, all the interviews, all the applications, and then showing up, spending time learning whatever it is that role is, and then deciding as you do that role, do you want other roles? How much of your life and quality do you want to give to that particular job? Is it a complement to everything that you ever wanted to do, or is it just a distraction that helps you to your next step? A stepping stone, perhaps, a learning curve, even, as you grow. Are you using it to your advantage to do the best you can while you're at a job and all that's required of you? And then all the life experiences and stuff that happens in between trying to get to a job, a car that doesn't work, a new car, thumbing, a bus, ride shares, walking, how to get to jobs, interacting with coworkers, bosses, people who haven't had a lot of their own education, whose own ego, whose own fears are coming up when someone looks to be even smarter at the job than they are, and they be triggered in their fear of losing their position. And then you have becoming a mom or a dad, unexpected or expected, and all the financial, emotional, physical commitments. Not that it should be a hardship, but sometimes it is. Sometimes there's struggle based on perceptions and definitions. And then there's wars that come up where the leaders don't fight. They navigate their chessboard, and many physical people go of all ages, but especially younger, killing off the men, killing off the herd, right? So, right, the men die, some of the women die, they're killing off the population. And in the meantime, while all sons and daughters from both sides, parents and loved ones waiting for them, they're in strife, they may be proud, they may fall back on acting proud when they find that their son or daughter has fallen, and yet they've lost their baby. All the contradictions around that, and then all of a sudden, they're at peace treaties, and we're not at war with each other. But then to forget that our son or daughter was killed, and yet everything has its reason, its season, and its arrangement. But again, divisions, diversions, emotional contradiction, and manipulation. And underneath it all, people being murdered and stolen and sold for meat and sold for their organs, and lies and laws manipulated by those who studied it, and then like the coercion that they're involved in, or those that they could manipulate and blackmail into or entice into that kind of life. So where do you go when you don't have the resources of goodly, godly, virtuous, and again, more strife? So we have to remember to ask the right question, to stand in virtue, so that we aren't kept at bay, that we aren't kept in an illusion of a misperception of what is our power, what is in our power. So we're waiting for someone to rescue us, even though the grail and the answer and the power is right there. Okay, so I'm going to add up the numbers. I do want to see what the angel number 22 is about as well. Okay, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. We have 14. Oh, you can like this. We have 5. Okay. So a 5 is earth, air, fire, water, spirit. 5. Bashar, the space historian, he has come forward to say that when he has given workshop people or humans some items to learn, that he feels humans learn best in 5s, not given the whole shebang basket of all that could be known and never was, but to give information in 5s that we recall, remember, and assimilate that number of information much easier. So 5. Here's what I wrote about it. Adventure, change, manifestation, the journey within, the journey without. You may move. Gratitude, abundance, the shift in energies, wellness of abundance and good things. You may go on a physical journey. Like I said, journey within, journey without. Listen to your body. Be aware of surroundings and be aware of the elements, all elements, the air, the trees, the fairy elements. Be aware of the mineral and animal kingdom. Faith in action, intuition in action, appreciation of the world around you, which can bring and will bring and is bringing positive change. You be that change in the world that you want to see. The systems are falling. So the angels, the guides, the iconic cards are with us in our mastery to take action and ask questions, to take action and let the eyes of the infinite pierce us in such a way that evil is dispelled, our shadow is gone. Let us take action and think differently than before. Let's be willing and able to listen and embrace the histories that are the ultimate truth, our space ancestors, our elemental cousins, and go forward, leaving the past behind, not giving that a care, letting that be a history, that misinformation, a big history that we all based our lives on. Let it be a leaping board, a foundation, so that we never go back to playing small and being puny. When you know that you're a God on this earth, don't you want to learn the steps to really master that and be more and more a control of the responses rather than hating and being in a reactionary place? Some reactionary doesn't always feel good. Action, right action inspired feels amazing. When you have to make a decision, you know what, you just do it. You just act to do it. But to react and respond, we've all got caught up in it, right? In a way that, rather not have said this, but I felt I had to. And yet there is responding in such a way to say truth and getting it off your chest. And then there isn't any justification. There isn't justification. You've said it once or twice, maybe repeated, but it's done. You've said, you've expressed who you are. So it's grand. You're right in that center of your empowerment. So I'm going to put this music on hold for a moment so I can find out about angel number 22. Give us the symbol for angel number 22.
According to iPublishing, peace is among the most sought-after things in life by everyone in the globe. The joy and power that come from being at harmony with yourself and the people closest to you are immeasurable. It is time for you to remember the significance of harmony, which is symbolized by the number 22.
So within this message is peace and harmony, the Age of Aquarius, right? Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding, no more falsehoods or diversions, golden, vivid dreams of living mystic crystal revelations, and your mind's true liberation, Aquarius. I wish this was helpful or somewhat helpful in your role today of understanding and being with timelines, timeline manipulations, the portals, being in our heart, being in balance, grasping onto our power, hearing from the guides about balance and mastery, integrity, and taking action. And yeah, this is like an hour and 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. I wish this meant something to you, to your heart, and that any piece of it may have resonated for support. If you found any value in this, please subscribe and pass it on. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. There's a description below, and there's an email, and there's also a pay forward opportunity if you want to support channel or me. Reach out, do sessions, and go into much more depth in a personal spiritual session, and yeah, and do art and send out the healing, send out the wellness radiation of care, which is meant to empower you and help clean up anything that troubles. All right.